we're going to pick her up because she is making news. And one of the big news that she has made was that she won her re-election. Can you believe it, friends? And she won this thing by a landslide. So we had a young Republican lady who was running against her. Matter of fact, I did make a video about those two because I was so hoping she would take down Fani, but unfortunately, she couldn't get it done. So, so Fani won her re-election with 68% of the vote. After all of this nonsense, after, her doing this thing and getting the mugshot of Donald Trump, like Fani Willis won re-election with 68% of the vote. I'm like, wow. So we're going to take a look at a clipping of her from a couple of months ago, and then we're going to take another clipping of her, of them explaining to us how her case is in jeopardy, that she may lose this thing. And then we're going to look at a Fox analysis on what we could be looking forward to, that this whole thing could just go away, just like Fani Willis. We could just make her disappear. Go away, Fani Willis. Go away.
District Attorney Fani Willis, fresh from her win against Republican challenger Courtney Kramer. She's also facing headwinds of controversy over her prosecution of President-elect Donald Trump, a scandal-filled romantic relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade, plus the plea deals in the trial of superstar rapper Young Thug.
She has certainly been busy, but we want to know what she hopes to accomplish in her upcoming second term and what happens to her criminal prosecution of President-elect Trump now. Political reporter Doug Reardon is live tonight for us outside the Fulton County Courthouse in downtown Atlanta. Doug, you spoke exclusively one-on-one with the DA right there in her office.
We did, and as you mentioned, we don't get this chance a whole lot. Willis grabbed 68% of the vote last Tuesday. That is a whopping margin of victory for her. And she said it's proof that it means most of Fulton County residents here are happy with the job she's doing. We did not get a direct answer from her on exactly what she plans to do with Donald Trump and these remaining criminal charges, but we did ask her the question. Here's what she told us.
I'm really proud of our first term.
Fulton County DA Fani Willis says some of the biggest accomplishments of her first term happened outside of the courtroom. Her team cleared a decade's worth of backlogged cases, 18,000 of them, some dating back to 2014. She started a pre-indictment diversion program that already has seen 300 people graduate with no jail time, and the DA's mentorship program is now working with 500 kids in 20 local schools. But a few criminal cases dominated the headlines in her first 4 years, none more so than her prosecution of Donald Trump and some of his allies for election crimes in Georgia.
I didn't indict anyone who I did not believe committed a crime in any case.
The future of Trump's case becomes murkier after Trump's re-election. A Supreme Court ruling earlier this year made it tougher to prosecute presidents for things they do on the job. Willis indicated she still plans to pursue charges against Trump.
If someone has an indictment in this office, no matter who they are, we continue to pursue those charges.
Emory University law professor John Acevedo says because Trump can avoid prosecution in the White House, the DA may only have one choice.
In theory, Fani Willis could try the other defendants, wait 4 years, and then bring the case back against Donald Trump as soon as he leaves office.
It'll be hard to do, but there's nothing stopping Willis from doing it. She said as much on Wednesday.
And, I'm here for 8 more years is my plan. And so if that's what it takes for us to get justice in some cases, we come to work every day. We'll come to work and look for justice.
And so also with her second term, Willis tells me today she wants to set up a resource center for domestic violence victims and also a separate domestic violence court with judges trained on exactly how to handle these types of sensitive cases. In downtown Atlanta, Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.
Thanks, Doug. Well, there you have Madame Fani Willis and her glory. So I'm just kind of wondering, with all of this and how she handled this whole thing, why isn't she being prosecuted? Why isn't there people coming for her? Why isn't, I know why. Because she's the Black Queen, because she's, Fani Willis. She can do no wrong, this is who she is. And so we're going to continue with Fani And we're going to take a clipping of her hearings and how the judges are not all on board. She may be sitting there waiting just like a spider for another 8 years to go back and try to take down President Trump. Can you imagine? So she's saying that, oh yeah, I'm going to be here for another 8 years. So obviously President Trump is going to be out in 4 years. So she will be there ready to prosecute after that? Like, really? That's how much your hatred goes for the man? You're going to let him go be president and then come back after he's president, after he's done, after he's done and saved this country, saved the world pretty much. You're going to sit there and do what? Try to throw him in jail? Hopefully the statutes of limitation would have gone through by then. Golly.
Like Donald Trump's Fulton County election interference case, it's on life support.
Today, an appeals court canceled some oral arguments in this case, and Atlanta News First anchor and attorney Joy Lim-Nakrin lays out what all this means.
The Fulton County case against President-elect Donald Trump is now in limbo. The upcoming hearing on whether District Attorney Fani Willis could stay on the case has been canceled. And until that issue is decided, the entire case is on hold. The Georgia Court of Appeals ordered the December 5th hearing canceled until further notice. The State Court of Appeals will decide whether Ms. Willis should be disqualified due to alleged impropriety, including her admitted affair with the former special prosecutor Nathan Wade. Ms. Willis led the prosecution of Mr. Trump and his co-defendants for alleged election interference. It's still unclear why the hearing was put on hold, but there have been numerous developments since the start of the case, including a Supreme Court ruling that presidents have immunity from prosecution for official acts taken in office. Now, based on the Georgia Constitution, the appeals court would need to make a decision on this matter by the end of March in order for the case to move forward. Joy Lim-Nakrin, Atlanta News First.
So Fani Willis, her case is falling apart, and you heard it there that she may not be able to do this. And so her case is falling apart, and it's really great to see, but I just can't believe that she would sit around and wait and prosecute after he is done with the second term. I mean, for me, that's just hateful, and it's the deep state. So now for what could possibly happen in the future, we're going to take a clipping from Fox and Friends explaining to us, giving us the law on how this could actually go down in the next couple of weeks or so. Okay, here's our friends at Fox and Friends.
Donald Trump's legal battles are all but over following his historic election win. But there's one holdout still prosecuting the president-elect embattled Fulton County DA Fani Willis. But sources tell the New York Post the state Supreme Court is getting ready to dismiss the case, throwing Willis's professional future into doubt. Former federal prosecutor Francie Hakes joins us now. Good morning, Francie. Thank you for joining us. From what I understand, obviously this is the last case with the state of Georgia here. What makes people believe this case will be dropped?
Well, good morning, Joey. Right now, the case sits with the Georgia Court of Appeals. And just this week, they're supposed to have oral arguments on the defense's motion to have Fani Willis recused from the case for a variety of misconduct. And without any warning, without any apparent motion, and without any explanation, the Court of Appeals just removed, that is, canceled that oral argument. And so there's speculation that they are getting ready to just rule based on the briefs instead of requiring oral argument. And if they're not requiring oral argument, they've probably made up their mind. And I'm guessing that the election has something to do with it.
Yeah, we all saw the riveting, we've televised it live here on Fox, the riveting case where Fani Willis's relationship with Nathan Wade was highlighted and showing where she might have, for lack of a better term, been exposed to malpractice in bringing these charges. So are we looking at a situation where she, as the prosecutor, is removed and thus the case goes away unless another prosecutor picks it up? Or is it the merits of the case itself could have it thrown out?
Well, Joey, if she gets recused, then the case simply gets removed from her office, because if she's conflicted out, her entire office is conflicted out. And then the case goes over to what's called the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia. And they have the ability to either assign the case to one of their lawyers, sort of roving prosecutors. In fact, we saw one of those prosecutors in action in the Lake and Riley case last week. She worked for the prosecuting attorney's council of Georgia. So they could assign it to one of them, or they could assign it out to a different elected DA. And the case would effectively start from zero, because no prosecutor is going to want to come in and simply start where Fani Willis left off. They're all going to go to the beginning. And I suspect they'll all reach the same conclusion. There was no violation of law here, and this case should never have been brought.
Yeah, that seems to be what most people think. I hope so. This lawfare has to end, and our president needs to be able to govern. Francie Hakes, thanks for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart.
Well, so there you go. I'm hoping this thing goes away. Fani Willis goes away, and we can have a Merry Christmas, and we can start this new administration without any, cases. Jack Smith has let it go. Even though Alvin Bragg in New York was trying to do the same thing, or Fani Willis is trying to do the same thing he's doing. So I think he's going to be sitting there just like a spider, just like old Fani, just sitting around waiting for President Trump's term to be over 4 years from now, so that they can do what? Bring on more charges. And speaking of Alvin Bragg, this was not on my to-do list to talk about today, but I do plan